founded in March 15th. We launched Mompreneur Asia March 15th with the vision to nourish and equip mothers so that we get to move forward in life, so that we get to do out the businesses that we want to do, so that we can be independent, so that we can fulfill gender equality in terms of financial or whatever that we want to do in life, right? Okay, so rewind 1 month, I think about 1 month ago, right, Renee?
Yeah.
So I contacted Renee, I think it was about 9 p.m. at night, because I saw that there was a Her Summit in Singapore. So I thought that, hey, why not we collaborate together, right? So, but then it was, I think, 3 days before Renee's event at that time. So we were thinking, okay, maybe it's a little bit too late, because 3 days. So we would if we were to travel, we were to do something by then. Then Renee actually called me and said that, hey, I'm going to come by in the month of November. Why not we do an event together? So here, thank you for your support, for being here. And today we've gathered wonderful panelists to be here. You know what? Suddenly I feel that the mood and energy in the room tiba-tiba jadi serious. Maybe I should let everybody stand up and dance a little bit. Can I do that? I'm just kidding. Okay, but I might, at the end. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll invite Renee to speak more about why she's here in Kuala Lumpur, why she's here in Malaysia. And also, if any of you have any questions at all, please don't be shy, jangan malu-malu, jangan be quiet. You know what, Renee? I realized that there are many men in the room. Yay. Wow! Kuatlah tepuk sikit, perempuan tepuklah sikit. Right? Okay. So, because all of you are still serious right now, can we have everyone put your right hand up? Betul ke? Is this your right hand up? Okay. And high five the person to your left and say, you are amazing. You are amazing. You're amazing. Okay. All right. So over to you, Renee.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Nini, for the kind introduction, and thank you for the collaboration with Mompreneur Asia. Really appreciate it. So I'm just gonna share with you, a little bit more about why we do what we do. So basically, we started our business, which is in media consultancy and training development, and we did some courses for the public. And in Singapore, we do have such a thing called Skills Future Credits. For some Singaporeans here, you would know what that is. So every Singaporean is given $500 credits to go upskill themselves, right? And then we have accredited courses. So one of the most popular courses is called Steps to Starting a New Business. And along the way, we realized that majority of our attendees happen to be women. But upon, completing the course, many of them were still afraid to start a business. So we wonder why. So we realized that many of them do have self-limiting beliefs about themselves. They were still afraid. It's not because of the lack of education. It's not exactly lack of funds, because the government has a lot of funding schemes available also. So it's really the lack of social capital and community to support what you do. So therefore, we created that platform, HER Entrepreneur, meant to inspire, educate, and empower women entrepreneurs and leaders. And the thing with us is we do encourage diversity and inclusion. And therefore, we always have a good mix of male speakers as well as attendees. Just that today, our male speaker for today, unfortunately, due to bad weather and unforeseen circumstances, is unable to attend. But nonetheless, okay, we do still have great speakers today. I'm going to share with you a campaign that we have done in Singapore, and that is also one of the key reasons why we do what we do. All right.
name's Renee and welcome to the HER show. According to a recent Muscat report,
Singapore is ranked number 5 in terms of the most enabling supporting conditions for women.
however, the report also noted that only 27.5% are female-led businesses. So we are here today at Raffles Place to interview the streets. Let's see if anyone can name a female entrepreneur.
Richard Branson would be one of them. The guy from Uber.
Ho Kwon Ping,
Warren Buffett, the guy from One Championship.
Jeff Bezos from Amazon.
Simon Gu,
Jack Ma.
Bill Gates, Kylie Jenner,
Mr. Justin Chiu, he's the founder of ARA Asset Management.
Oprah Winfrey, Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg.
He's able to establish a holdings company and with all the major acquisitions in the industry.
Able to do something nice for the society while at the same time making money for your business.
They are able to innovate and create.
For them to step out and take a risk, I think it's a lot of courage needed.
Someone who can influence the behavior of quite a lot of different people and to change their mindset.
A lasting legacy, so setting up a company that survives the test of succession, that continues to grow.
Someone who makes his own business, his or her own business, earns a lot of money from it and helps society.
I can't quite think of.
Can't really think of one right now. That's embarrassing. I don't think I can.
I'm so sorry, I really can't think of that right now.
For a lady, anyone.
No, I can't give you any. Not off the top of my head. I'm sure there are plenty. I'm just being really ignorant.
Oprah Winfrey, because I feel that she can really engage to a very wide audience.
Maybe one of our local influencers, Dri Chong. She has marketed herself very well on Instagram.
Is Ellen DeGeneres entrepreneur? because from my definition, I was thinking like you have your own business and then you give back to society, and Ellen DeGeneres is super generous and everything, and she always gives to the needy and everyone else.
Some of these include Sher Wang from HTC, Zhang Xin from Soho, China, Selena Chow from Li Ka-shing Foundation, Christina Goh from Goh Capital, Anita Ambani from Reliance Industries. However, none of these successful Asian women entrepreneurs were at the top of mind recall amongst any of our interviewees. This could be perhaps due to the lack of media coverage of these successful women entrepreneurs. We at HER Entrepreneur hope to change that. We hope to inspire, educate, and empower women entrepreneurs through harnessing the power of women in entrepreneurship, leadership, and relationship.
Okay, thank you so much. You gotta toggle this. Oh, someone. Sorry, can you help them? So that is why we
With
created
Wix,
a
you can create a
platform.
professional website that looks stunning. Just go to Wix.com. The best part is you can update it and
Okay, so therefore we have created a platform called the HER Entrepreneur, which is meant to inspire, educate, and empower these ladies through our workshops, our Learn Come networking sessions like this, as well as our yearly HER Asia Summit. So we've been running the summits in Singapore for the past 2 years, and it was pretty well attended by several government agencies as well as business owners from various industries. So this year we had our minister, Grace Fu, who graced the event, and the previous year we had our mayor. So that this year we had a good delegation of overseas attendees, including some of you here who came as well from Malaysia, and there are people from as far as Papua New Guinea who flew over for just that one day event. Okay, so therefore we are moving towards Malaysia as our next stop also. So we're looking at HAR Malaysia next year too, in October, after our Singapore event. So this was a few entrepreneurs here, just to name a few. I'm not sure if anyone have heard of Four Fingers Fried Chicken. Yes, Four Fingers. So Steen Pugat, the tall guy over there. So he's currently the former CEO of Four Fingers. Okay, then we've got Soup Spoon. Anyone heard of Soup Spoon? The Soup Spoon. Yeah, so if you've traveled to Singapore quite often, you'll see Soup Spoon. We've got people from various industry sectors like biotech. She started from nothing. With a corporate experience, she started a biotech firm. And it was so difficult for her to look for funding as well. So that was our event, right? Just to cut short. And part of proceeds in what we do will be contributed to providing free training program on entrepreneurship for marginalized women in Singapore. Yeah, so we believe in giving back. Okay, so now back to this Learn Come Networking session. I would like to invite some of our panelists here. So for this session, we're going to discuss about building successful next generation businesses. First of all, can I invite Natasha from Auntie Anne's? Let's give her a round of applause. Yeah, and Nini Chong, right, co-founder of Marketing Asia and co-founder of Chatbot Malaysia. And last but not least, Dini from Wadi Sofia College. Okay, please take a seat. All right, now, in this topic, right, you'll be wondering what does next generation businesses really mean? Okay, next generation business could mean passing the business to the next generation, but it can also mean how do you attract the next generation customers, the clients, the consumers, right? So I'd like to have all of you, each of you, share with the audience a little bit about your background, what you're currently doing, and why you do what you do. Okay? Okay, you can pick up the mic.
Hi everyone, my name is Natasha. Our family brought in Auntie Anne's into Southeast Asia. So we actually started in Jakarta and then we moved on to Singapore and Malaysia in 1996. So we have been here for about 22 years. I've just recently took over the director position of the operations and development side. So mostly in terms of dealing with people and of course looking for locations for us to grow as well. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Nini?
Hi, my name is Nini Chong. So right now I'll be speaking at the capacity of being the co-founder of Chatbot Malaysia. I came from the personal development background since the year 2005. I'm so happy that today there's this guy, his name is Charlie. So it's been so long so that I've seen him. So my background started from personal development background, and then I moved on to the investment industry, and I got back to the personal development background, and then now I am into something that's really new, which is artificial intelligence, or maybe more of you here would understand chatbot rather than artificial intelligence. So chatbot, it's a chat robot. So some of you would say that it's a chat box, it's chat robot. So because of the Revolution 4.0, it is something really new for me as well. Something for a person who doesn't even know how to calculate or operate the calculator well, into the tech industry. It is something, so my husband says this to me all the time, janganlah jadi bimbo. So I answer him this, memang bimbo lah in this tech, right? but it's the concept of it. It's the concept of, because we are in the edge of business, so everything is really new. So it's either we fight it or we leverage on it and have our business move further, more seamless, and it's just at one click that we are straight away global. So that's how me and Renee met. We met virtually, and for your information, it's the first time that we met in person today, and we get to have all of you here by us not meeting and coordinating this for you. Thank you.
And many of the attendees here today, how did you meet? How did you get to know about the event? It's also through social media, right? Through technology. Right, thanks for sharing. Next.
Hi, my name is Dini. I'm from Wadi Sofia College. I'll be speaking from the perspective of, I guess you could say, the daughter of a business owner, and also someone who's recently just transitioned back into a family business. My family business is a private international school based out of Kelantan. It is one of 2 international schools operating in Kelantan, but we're the only one with a boarding facility. So yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So we have 2 next generation business owners here from Auntie Ends and also from Wadi Sofia. Can you share with us what are your challenges in taking up this new role? Right, you just got promoted as well, and you also. So can you share with us what are some of the challenges?
I guess for a second generation business itself is more towards how you will handle the workers that you are working with, especially when you go in, you have people that has been working there for about maybe 10 to 15 years in the company, and when you come in, you're actually younger than them. So that has been a bit of a challenge in terms of a different mindset and how we as the boss's daughter as well, of a leader to them. So that was just one of the direct challenges that I had.
Okay, how about yourself, Dini?
Even though I'm not directly involved with the overall management of the school, the way my family set up the business management is that we have an open door policy where our staff have direct access to us if they ever have any issues that which in my business is the students and parents. So whatever the teachers have a concern with their students or the parents, it's good that we get that feedback directly from the teacher's point of view instead of waiting for parents coming to us through the chain of command, you know. So we get to resolve issues quicker and improve our services better. Yeah, I see.
Okay, how about Nini, yourself?
give a very layman explanation. But I myself, or together with my husband, when we speak to our client, right, we will be very upfront that this is something really new. So this is something really new globally, where what we are doing is we are exploring. So we don't know that the step, whatever steps that we are taking, whether it will result ideally into what we want or not. You know, it's like 1 + 1 is 2, right? So in AR, we don't know now whether 1 + 1 is 2. 1 + 1 could suddenly be 101, you know, like that. So we be upfront with them. So explore with us. Let's move together with us. Let's take that step together with us. So I guess there are challenges because it's tech and sometimes it's stubborn, no matter how we poke or we tinkle.
The general manager for the school, and along with that, he has taken the initiative to introduce the use of technology in classrooms, like tablets, even handphones, because we want to encourage students to learn how to use technology responsibly. You know, whether you like it or not, students are going to finish school, they're going to go into tertiary studies. It might as well start from the foundation level, which is in primary, in secondary level. So one of the challenges we face is trying to convince parents that it is feasible for students to learn how to use their gadgets. Something that we're currently working with, and hopefully in the future it'll be something that will be streamlined in our school program. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
I think I agree with Dini completely in terms of trying to convince our parents is mostly the hardest part, just because the way they think it's really different. Like I think more of the things that they want to know is, why are we spending so much money on technology where traditional ways still works, you know? And the part that is the hardest to convince them is, let's say I want to spend like 12,000 ringgit for like an app or something. They'll be like, show me the process. I was like, well, that needs to be tinkered with, and it takes months for us to know whether it actually is working or not. So that was, and we are actually working on an app right now, just like a Starbucks card, but it's more on mobile because everybody's going mobile now, right? So we're on that process, and we are actually starting to do it as to test it out. So we will have a few of our workers or friends to actually test it out. Maybe by next year we'll have it. So we're also going digital, cashless. It's hard to also convince our parents, like, oh, there's a lot of tourists buying it. I was like, yeah, but at the same time they are looking for Alipay, all those type of pay. So we have to work a lot with banks as well, trying to figure that out. So yeah, I think that will be our hardest challenge, is to really convince our parents that can we spend this money on things that we will see in the future, and that will be a good investment for the company.
Right, okay. Now, we don't have a lot of time, so maybe any questions from the floor? I'm sure some of you would have some questions for them, right? So feel free to raise your hand and we'll pass the mic over to you. Anyone, don't be shy. Yes, yes, please.
Yeah, so interesting topic, right? Talking about the next generation. So, I don't know if you guys know, Nini also was in the midst of having joining the parents for their business, right? So what do you talk about that? About the challenge when your parents wanted you to get into the business, and why you went out and did your own stuff? Because it relates to the topic, right?
That's a trick question. I don't know why he's asking me to reveal that. Well, I come from a background of so I saw how my dad, from being a lorry driver to he became one of the biggest contractor in Sabah. Okay, so when I came to KL, all he knew was this first daughter of mine is going to come back to Sabah and run my construction company. Okay, so but I thought that no, I'll not do that, right? With all due respect, nothing about. It's just that I thought that. What's the point of you asking me that question? So I just thought that, because I think that I am a marketeer by nature. So if I find something good, I'll share with the whole world. So it's nice for the person who's doing that something good. But if I find something that is not good, I will make sure that people will find out that, so they don't waste your time and money like that. So I know that being a marketeer, and I know that everything needs hard work. I know that data is money. I know that through experience, network will convert into money. Hence, I co-founded Mompreneur Asia together with Aisha. And also in the room today, I have few of my Mompreneur Asia members. I have Azrin Ahmad, Datin Azrin Ahmad over there. Say hi, Azrin. So I have Suraya Sharifuddin here, and I have Yan Lim here. So if I were to relate all that from my family background, there are two things that I would relate myself to, and how I bring it forward now is that everything vision as you, so that you will be able to leverage off each other, because everyone have their own strengths and weaknesses, and when you collaborate, wonderful things would happen.
We have another question.
Hi, I have a question for Natasha and Dini. I don't know, one of you can take it. My name is Yan Lim. I run a PR agency. So as a female entrepreneur, as a mother, I work really hard every day. On those bad days, you feel like giving up. But the one thing that I want to, the reason what fuels me is the fact that I'm trying to leave and the children a legacy, a family empire. So my question is for Dini and Natasha, the fact that you are currently attached to your family legacy or empire, the generation before you or your parents, you know, growing up, did they take you to the office? Did they tell you that one day you will be the one running this business? Were you, is it a preconceived idea that you will one day come back and run the business? Or is this something that you want?
Tough question, but I was just talking to Soraya just now. My dad literally told me when I was 17, when I told him I wanted to take over the business, he was like, no, you are starting on your own, you are not going to continue Auntie Anne's, you're going to start your own business. I was so devastated. I was so into this brand since I was young, as I grew up with it. So I'm 29 this year, so the brand has been with me 22 years. So I kind of, growing up, I was always at the outlet. My mom will always go to the outlet. We'll be sitting down on the table working on our homework and waiting until she's done so we could go home at like 9 or 10 o'clock. So hearing from him that it's not possible, I was just like, okay, my life has just kind of crumbled in a way. But after college, a lot of things has happened, and I think the one thing that he was trying to teach us is that even without a business, you know, you need to know how to do a lot of things on your own. But when I got, I would say, thrown into the deep end, 2 years in Auntie Anne's, after my family had a slight accident, because my dad was into got into a big accident, and us siblings just kind of have to go out there and take care of the business. So we grew up in knowing that you know, our parents has worked so hard. Our family policy, family vision, and mission is always the same with our parents. So with that, the business will just keep growing if we have the same mindset.
Okay, I guess my background is a bit different from yours. A little background about Wadi Sophia College, Wadi Sophia International. So I kind of rebelled against that idea for a while, but I don't know. The universe works in a very mysterious way. Whether I like it or not, I had an invested interest in how well the school was doing, because I was part of it. I was first a student. I know exactly what the students would be going through, and I knew what challenges the teachers would be facing because I worked behind the scenes. I dealt with providing counseling for the teachers and also students. So starting in being involved in that kind of business from a young age, you have a different perspective from people that you end up bringing in along the way. I wish I could say I'm 100% going to be advocating for the school right now. But for now, my older brother, he's the one that's taking the helm in managing this. From how my dad first established it. There is a lot of difference. My father's style of doing business before was very traditional, you could say. A lot of, what's the word? Face-to-face value marketing, you know. Nowadays we're trying to incorporate the use of Facebook, Instagram, a lot more online marketing for the school, because we're trying to reach out into the international market also. I guess that's the main difference. Like, it's a matter of how do I say this? If you're serious about creating a legacy for your family, take into consideration what are your family members' interests, what are their strong suits, how that can be applied to your business that you're trying to create. Because if you try to force their hand and they're not interested in it, it might work against your greater plan, you know. You can groom someone as much as you want, but if they're not ready, they're not ready. Yeah. I think that's the human factor you have to take into consideration when trying to, leave a legacy behind. Yeah. Thankfully, my brother is on board, and thankfully, I'm having a really great relationship with him in that regard. And I'm hopeful that, inshallah, when it's my turn to take over the business, I'll be ready fully, So, yeah.
There's a lot of legacy planning in this as well, right? So, Nini, are you grooming your daughter? Is she studying programming and coding and all that?
My son.
When I knocked doors, bringing the business that I was doing into Sabah, right? I realized one thing about me was I didn't wanna mention anything about who my family or my father was, because I realized that I didn't want, okay lah, I give face lah, I see you lah, like that. Because Sabah Kota Kinabalu is such a small city where everyone knows everyone. So that phone call that you make and they know you are whose child, and opening that door for you, giving that first job to you, and then if the job stops, then you know that in your heart, okay, that first job was a give face job, But if you enter that job without them knowing, and you enter with a bang, right? Then they know, who is that person, who's the family,
If they know, they know, right?
If they know, they know, right? Then at least I could come from, hey,
let's move on to the next panel discussion, which is about taking your homegrown brand global. Okay, so let's welcome our moderator for this session, Yan Lim, CEO of Ioli Communications. Let's give her a round of applause. Let's take the hot seat. And Bella Luna, founder and CEO of Mocha & Co. Thank you. And Suraya, the founder of Sakura Malaysia, principal of Artful Brains. Last but not least, Batin Azrin Ahmad, founder of 3 Little Almonds. I'll leave to the moderator to introduce herself and the rest of the panelists.
Thank you, Renee. How many of you here are Singaporean? No, so most of us are Malaysian. So that means you understand when I say that I am actually a Bidang Terjun. So it was supposed to be Bon Zainal, right? Bon Zainal was supposed to be the panel, and Suraya here supposed to moderate today's session. But I guess things we do for our girlfriends, right? So when Nini called last night and say, hey, can you slot in an hour to moderate a panel discussion? I told her, give me a few minutes, should be okay. So yes, hi, good afternoon everyone. My name is Yan Lim. I am the CEO of Ioli Communications. It's a PR agency. A bit about how your brand is known as a global brand, or if you are heading towards that. Just a little bit, a few minutes each.
Hi, good evening. My name is Bella. I'm from Mocha & Co, CEO of Mocha & Co. So currently I'm running a beauty company. So and I'm a mom as well, same as you guys, mompreneur. Proud to say that. That's what makes me today. Because previously I was working back then in agency, so it was long working hours. So then I was heavily pregnant, so I said no, I think I take a rest for a while. Then I say no, I'm not this kind of person. I cannot steal it back. So then I been love makeup so much. Then I said to my husband, so I think I need to do some things that I'm really passionate with. So that's why we do Mocha & Co. So a little bit of Mocha & Co is a startup beauty company. We just started 6 months back, but surprisingly it was a very overwhelming response, where I think globally women just love makeup. Right? They just love cosmetic. So it was really overwhelming response, where we get across all the, not really all globe, we managed to touch London, Belgium audience. Then we have distributed in Singapore.
For a 6 months old brand.
Yes.
Wow. A little claps, please.
I never expect that kind of response, but okay, alhamdulillah. So and then 3 months down the road, there were one of these distributors from Singapore come forward to us, say hey, I like your brand so much. And they haven't tried on it. And then they say, I want to be one of the distributors in Singapore, since I run a cosmetic business in Singapore. I said, oh, okay, that's great. Yeah, we're not done. We gave out the terms and whatnot. And then so they say, okay, in deals. So easy, just via email, and all seals the deal.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
What about you, Suraya? If you can share a little bit about what you do. I know you as a friend, but they don't. So,
Okay guys, I may fumble or something. I'm very jittery right now. I was not supposed to have coffee before the talk, but I did because I was really hungry. So right now I'm feeling really nervous. Okay, so my name is Soraya Sharifuddin. I am the principal of the Artful Brains in Rem Berhad. So we are a branding agency with solutions to branding, events, and we also take local brands global. So on top of that, I am also the owner of Maslia. So Maslia is a lifestyle brand. We've just started about 2 years ago. It is a company I established after Sakura Malaysia. I will tell you more about Sakura Malaysia later. But right now, I'm going to pass on the mic to Azrin.
So quick, very convenient. Okay, so my name is Azrin. I have a few businesses that I run together with my husband, but the Three Little Ahmads is something that I founded a year ago. It's a children's clothing company that is, it offers reversible clothing for children, and we've gone into adults as well, and it also offers clothing solutions. Not only are they reversible, but it's solutions for people with autism, children with autism, children who are wheelchair bound or bedridden. So whatever designs that we have for able-bodied children, we also adapt the same clothes and make those clothes easier to wear for children who are differently abled. I never like to say disabled, I always say differently abled, because they are human beings and they have other capabilities. And I think clothes are a way that previously clothes were a way for people who have difficulty dressing themselves. Dignity is taken away. So clothes are a simple way to return that dignity to a person. And it also allows children with different abilities who have difficulty dressing themselves, it allows them to be self-sufficient. And that returns dignity to them as well, and teaches them that it's okay, you know, life goes on, and nothing gets drawn to whatever else, and business can continue the way it does. So that's the solution we provide.
Thank you, Azrin, Soraya, and Bella. Bella, just now you mentioned that you are a startup.
Yeah.
So Mocha & Co. is 6 months old. And when you first started 6 months ago, you started out of passion. So you love makeup, and you left an agency. Oh, you mentioned that you left an agency. So that is actually the exact same story with me. I left an agency life because the hecticness as a mother it was not something that we couldn't deal with. And when you first started, did you see Mocha & Co. To be a global brand within the next 6 months? Was that already in the pipeline? Did it happen out of luck?
Oh, actually, when we started, since it's a digital, I mean, since we go like through website and whatnot, it's a digital company. I mean, we run through digital. There's no such thing as you not prepared, because in digitals, whatever that you share, that's borderless. You would never, you would expect that the moment you post it out, it might be someone in US will see it, someone in India will see it. So we kind of like, not to say like not prepared, but we expect there will be a global, exposure on
right.
that. Mm-hmm.
All right. And Soraya here. Soraya, you shared with us before. I think we had a brief discussion just now. Artful Brains, being the agency, you work with the brands, with the local brands, to bring them globally, correct? And if I'm not mistaken, last year you worked with some of the growing brands of Malaysia, and you brought them to Pure London. If you can share with us today on how did it happen? Was that something of your own initiative to actually bring the local brands there? Did you work with the government agency, and how did it go?
Okay, so 6 years ago, I went to, I give a little bit of history, yeah? So 6 years, I'm also going to tell you this because this is the power of affirmation, yeah? And I believe in that. So 6 years ago, I was dekat Kabaring, dekat depan TV. And then I came across this website that says Pure London. So I turned to my husband and I said, you know, one day, I'm going to go to Pure London. I said, you know, being a startup, you know, being a Malaysian brand, you know, my husband was just looking and said, yeah, you can do it. And then I basically emailed them and I said, hey, you know, this brand, blah, 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 you know, I do this, you know, have a look at my stuff. They're really awesome. I said, you know. And a couple of weeks after, I received a call from them. and they said, you know what, we have never seen any product from Malaysia, and we think you're really awesome, and I think we want you on board, right? So I went, and then at that point of time, we didn't have funds. Getting selected to go is one thing, but getting the funds to go is another, right? That is also, I think, it's something that we all share amongst us entrepreneurs, right? So I pun pergilah naik Mara, I pergi naik Matrade, and then I think it's because of the determination that I have, we managed to get someone from Matrade to help. So I went for the first time. So I went for the first time, not doing anything. It was my first time. With 3 of my other staff, we went to London. Action lah, dapat pergi London kan, show semua. Okay, but what I realized is a lot of people like our products, but they didn't buy them. You know, so it was something, I think it was quite heartbreaking when, you know, a lot of people come and then they take your cards and all that, and then, you know, the whole bars and all that, tapi dia tak beli. Then I thought, hey, you know what's wrong? And then I went again. I went and I sat with this buyer from Japan, and he was like, you know, I really love your designs, but you know, these things are not going to sell in my country. And so I was very defensive, right? And then I was giving him all sorts of justification. Yes. So and then after that he said, no, listen, I am the buyer. You need to listen. So then I listened, and I went back, and then my younger sister gave a very good input, and she said, you know, why not we try and still keep the aesthetics that we wanted to project. However, we scale it down to meet other people's climate and all that, you know, the material and all that. And so we did. So the 3rd year, we went to Pure London. We managed to sell 4,000 bags. So it was really good, right? And then the 4th year, I managed to speak to the owner of Pure. And then I said to her, I said, why don't I bring a few of my friends on board? But, I said, because I am coming from a point of view of a brand owner. You see, kita ni kadang-kadang nampak je macam terror, nampak je macam best, but we actually don't have anything. We don't have money, right? And then so I said, okay, here's the deal. I will bring 10 of my friends, but you need to give me a price, half of the price that you're charging other people, so that I can bring 10 of my friends on board. And so, surprisingly, she said yes. So that's where it all started. So then we became the agency to bring Malaysian brands to Pure London. And Pure London is the biggest lifestyle trade show in the UK. And Pure London have just recently acquired Scoop, if anybody knows, Scoop, and also Moda Birmingham. So which means Pure London is the #1 trade show in the UK, right? So it's really, really great how we managed to establish a relationship just by having that one affirmation, you know, saying that, hey, you know what, one day I'm going to do this. And of course, along the line, ada macam-macam benda yang doesn't work, can work. But I think the most important thing is why I'm here is not just to develop my own brand, it's also to share and to also make sure that the rest of my friends will get a piece of that cake, you know? And you know, all of us can sama-sama lah naik.
Thanks, Sue. Now I want to talk about challenges. You know, many of us entrepreneurs, whenever we do an event, especially when it involves these inspiring, successful entrepreneurs, many of us talk about the success stories. We talk about the things that are being sugar-coated and all that. Now I want to talk about challenges. And if you do have any failure stories even. So, Azrin, I understand that you've been doing a lot of other things. And 3 Little Ahmads came into the picture last year.
Yes.
And in the same year, you actually managed to participate in Jakarta Fashion Week, is that correct? If you can share with us the challenges that you faced and that led you to your first fashion show, and it wasn't even in Malaysia.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think when we started the brand, the inspiration came from a social entrepreneurship side, which is something that Malaysians are still not very used to. They're not very open to. And to I use the word disruptive, I actually disrupted the fashion industry because I remember sitting down during one of the Raya events where I go for all these fashion shows, and I actually run a business, a consultancy firm where I'm an image consultant. So I was there in the capacity of a consultant for buying for my clients, and I looked at these models and I remember thinking, yeah, it's all well and good, you're 6'2", you're really svelte, I could put a sack of potatoes on you, you'll still make it look good, right? But what happens if I put that same garment on a client of mine who is 5'2" with all sorts of figure challenges, and then suddenly we're in a different ballgame. Because then the clothes don't cater for these markets. So there was a lot of unrealistic